Previously on High Stakes Poker.
Give you a fair warning.
Nobody knew who was bluffing or who was getting bluffed.
Getting bluffed every hand.
Sick bluff. I'd like to play this hand over, if that's okay.
Just want to stir it up a little, you know?
Antonio got the best of Vanessa.
The 3 of diamonds. Come on, that's such a needle.
I had ace high, but I was calling.
At ace high beat.
Then you had the best hand.
And Phil Ruffin's steamroller kept going, this time over Barry Greenstein's stack.
No, I want one. We got straight.
Flush ace high.
You bet 20,000 every time, and they were like, couldn't believe you had it every time.
Feel the love, I feel the love. Feel the love.
I'm all in. Yeah, all my ladies is jacked. I got my bullets and diamonds, and I ain't holding back. I'm all in. Yeah, I'm gonna kick it. Pocket rockets a ticket. If you got what it takes, you can play high stakes. I'm all in. These ladies ain't ladies unless they your ladies. Put your hand on the roster. That's what it takes. And if you got what it takes, then you can play high stakes.
Welcome to High Stakes Poker presented by PokerStars.net. I'm Norm MacDonald. Tonight is the last session with this group of players. And I don't know about you guys, but watching these sharks psychs me out. They truly play above the rim poker. I don't think I could beat this game, even if they spotted me aces every hand and showed me their hole cards. And guess what? The game is going to get tougher yet with the Orient Express barging in. Antida, that's Johnny Chan. He has 10 World Series of Poker bracelets, including 2 from the main event, and he's in the Poker Hall of Fame. Let's get back to the table. Thanks to an early double up against Barry, Antonio is our big winner with over $400,000 in profit. Antonio put some of those profits to use with ace-10. Robo throws his hand away without looking to the left. Klein is in. David Pete misreads his hand. And Doyle calls. The flop brings top pair for Klein and gutter balls for both Viffer and Doyle.
Check.
All check to Klein. And Klein checks. And not a good check. That free card has given Viffer a straight.
5,000.
Doyle calls. He doesn't know he's drawing to a split. And Klein is drawing dead.
Get him, Bill.
But raises to 22,000. And Viffer decides to just smooth call. Doyle smooth folds. And both these players appear to have toothaches.
Have a king.
I got you.
A rare misstep by Viffer, and he looks frustrated.
I wasn't going to bet it anyway.
He should have tried to extract something. That ace was a scare card.
When that pot raised? Pot was raised, right?
Could make 2 flushes and
I didn't have an
How many straights?
3 or 4 straights. I don't know.
I didn't have an overlay. So
Plus, when you make 2 pair, they never see it coming.
No, we just put him on the 6 tray suited.
Viffer's pre-flop hand selection amuses everybody.
Live girl.
Much better hand, David.
4,500.
What do you mean he's back less hand? He bet 3,000 and then folded when he was called on the turn.
Where'd he go?
How could you not like a guy like that?
The player is talking about the good old days when Phil Ruffin was still at the table. Roble calls with deuces. And 3 overcards hit the flop. What are the odds of that? These two don't want to mess with each other. Well, maybe they do. The ace didn't help Roble's hand, but I guess the king did.
Tripled it on the flop.
Wow. Viffer does not give that kind of respect to most people. There's plenty of history between these two, and Roble took advantage of it. They have butted heads online for years and are both very successful cash game players. David Pete won't discriminate against Jack 7 offsuit. Five players to the flop.
Is mine?
How many people on the flop?
5.
This reminds me of the 2-4 games I play in. Everybody limps, and 10-4 takes the lead on the flop. And then everybody checks. Antonio turns the nuts. Nut flush draw for Vanessa.
I'll try this time.
She bets 3,000. Here comes the raise. No, he calls. Everybody's drawn dead except Vanessa.
Lots of respect, huh?
And she gets there.
Check.
Small value bet by Vanessa. Ill-timed value raise by Antonio.
Boot, 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 boot.
Viffer's always thinking on the third level. Is Vanessa stealing? Is Antonio re-stealing? Can I steal from both of them? Come on, Viffer, it would have worked. And now Vanessa is about to deliver the bad news to Antonio.
Raise it.
It'll be $43,000 today, sir.
43,000. Beat a bluff.
You can beat a bluff?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not 100% sure if Vanessa's comment had anything to do with that insta-fold,
Nice hand.
but I'm 99% sure. He might have folded anyway, but not that quickly.
You're a bit sick as Vanessa. I've got 3K to induce the raise.
Bluff so many hands at this table. Just every hand I just bluff, bluff, bluff.
I don't think you bluffed that time.
Welcome back to High Stakes Poker.
Couldn't even open the door. Run into Phil. Phil says everybody's stuck except the Magic Man. Is that true?
The Magic Man's stuck to the chair and doesn't ever want to leave the way things are going.
Well, let's go there. Do some gambling. Some lunch here.
Delicious.
In case nobody knows, the legendary Johnny Chan.
Well, now our high stakes table has two legends. And there's definitely a long history between Doyle and Johnny Chan.
Chisel him out of the 400, though, because he went inarguable right twice.
You want some chips about with Johnny?
Whatever here. 08. Thank you.
And look at Vanessa's face. She looks like a kid at Disneyland. Another one of her heroes at the table.
He did post.
And she limps in. Johnny's posted the blind. He checks.
Something line from Rounders. I don't think you
Yeah.
had it, Johnny.
Yeah.
I want to use that today.
David Pete calls with King 5 offsuit. He's in the small blind. It's not like he calls with those cards every time.
Robles wants to use it against you.
If we play a big pot, I'm going to use it.
After he shoots
Gut
it.
shot for Johnny Chan.
Check.
Vanessa bets her threes.
Johnny Chan, come and play in a pot right away with me. Well, so I got no choice. Flip my blind. I check. Okay.
Didn't take Johnny too long.
It's a pretty bad card for me.
At 4,000.
Winner, winner, chicken for dinner.
In case you didn't know, Johnny Chan.
I know, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
It's over 2.5 million on the table.
That's it? Well, $1 million just went off it.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot more.
We just lost 800,000.
Yeah, Phil told me he won like 350 or something.
Yeah,
He called Viffer for 100K on the river with second pair.
It was good?
Of course it was good. Viffer never has anything.
Who bet it?
He bet the flop, I called. He bet the turn, I raised. He called. He checked the river, I bet, and he called.
Just because of how often you own people, I want you to repeat that hand history. Like, I want you to repeat that hand just like at least once every 20 minutes.
No, I mean, like, that's just like...
Differs in not.
And there was
immortal.
like, it's not like I could have a flush draw or nothing because it was like, there was like no draw I could have on the board. The board was ace, king, deuce.
It's pretty hard to blow up a billionaire. No, it was ace king. It was ace king. It was ace king. Something else because you had the deuce, right? It was ace king 3 because you had the didn't you have the 9 deuce?
I had 9 deuce or 9 3, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
there's not
you
even
had
a
a
hand
pair,
I could
you
be
know?
bluffing with really. Like,
Right, yeah, well.
Go ahead. And Tony, what are you
Quite
doing?
an impressive resume.
Limpy Lou.
It's like a casino,
Oh,
married a
God.
supermodel,
You must have
crossed
something real
high stakes
trash over
poker.
there.
And this flop will abruptly end the table conversation. Antonio flops a set, and Doyle and Vanessa have top pair.
Gambler, who knows?
Antonio raises to 10,000.
All right.
sorry, Brian, I just
can't beat
lost
a
your
pair.
college fund.
What's going on with these great laydowns? Everybody trying to impress Johnny Chan?
Bluff, bluff, bluff.
But seriously, most pros don't like to get involved too much in a limp pot.
I finally hit a pair. He was gone anyway.
I actually finally had a pair also. I could
I had
beat
a pair.
I could beat a pair. I had the toppest pair.
Top pair?
Top pair.
I did too.
Holy crap. Then he couldn't have had top pair.
I did not have top pair.
Action is on.
Judo.
Straddle is on.
Just can't help himself. He just can't help himself.
Oh.
Antonio decides to only call with ace-5 suited on the button.
Oh, the price is right.
Run it.
And Johnny Chan, ace-jack suited. Chan quickly checks the best hand. Antonio bets his aces.
4,200.
Chan smooth calls. And Viffer does his swipe fold. Johnny's still got the best hand. And checks again. And Antonio goes along with it this time. Uh-oh. Johnny bets 20,000.
Oh, Johnny. Here's Johnny.
Well, Antonio can only call. I don't know what's taking him so long. He can't be thinking of raising. Wait a second. What a fold.
20,000.
It's not here's Johnny, it's here's seat 6.
Welcome back to the Bellagio. We're playing high-stakes poker. And now it's time to spend 30 seconds with Kara Scott.
In the movies, every superhero has an arch nemesis, and poker isn't any different. There's always someone who seems to hold the kryptonite. Let's hear who gives our players the hardest time at the table.
My poker nemesis would be Antonio Esfandiari. He beat me heads up for the WPT Championship.
Andy Beal's tough, so he's a good friend of mine.
It's Tom Dwander, and he's just one guy that I've just never been able to beat, no matter what.
I've played with Daniel Negreanu several times. Very, very scary.
Phil Locke, probably. He's had some pretty interesting hands that he's played poorly against me in the past and seemed to win.
Tom DeJuan. I'm down like $500,000 to Tom. But I think Tom is kind of everyone's poker nemesis.
Players still discussing Antonio's incredible fold.
Money saved is money earned, right, Johnny?
Absolutely.
So I got to fold.
Maybe
an
I'm safe some money.
So I have to fold an ace, you know?
Antonio's fold has a lot to do with his history with Johnny Chan, but it really makes no sense to an idiot like me. I think the proper play is to pay it off and complain about your luck. Meanwhile, Doyle is speeding this hand with 8-7 suited and runs into Vanessa's ace-king. She raises to 14,000.
14.
Thank God.
Viffer knows exactly where he's at. And Doyle, with a good gambling hand, decides to call.
Here's John.
Oh, I don't see how things are not going to get dirty with this flop. Doyle with a pair and a flush draw. Vanessa with 2 kings and an ace kicker. Check to Vanessa. She's eyeing Doyle's stack. Any bet from her is going to get that stack in the middle. She checks. And Doyle checks again. There'll be no more checking from Vanessa.
$17,400.
17-4.
Well, I guess you turned 3 kings, but I'm going.
All in.
Does that speech mean you have trip jacks? I call.
Call.
No, I don't mean I got 3.
Oh, okay. I have ace king.
Okay, I got 2 8s. It's up to you. I don't care.
Don't deal yet. There's
You can do twice if you want. Do it twice.
14 outs, running it twice.
I wish you'd have bet on the flop work because it had 2 cards today.
Yeah, I know.
One for the good guys. Two for the good guys.
A legend down. Will he rebuy?
Bring me 200 more over there, somebody.
Yep. Welcome back to High Stakes Poker. Bill Klein has not been able to recover, but Vanessa Selbst has recouped half her losses.
Raise it to 3,000.
Klein raises to 3,000. Pete says, I'm tired of folding every hand. And Doyle makes his jacks look like a squeeze play.
That's your word.
Remember Antidas squeeze play? Oh, that's right. I never explained that to you.
You're gonna get it.
I don't particularly want it.
You don't want it. I'll take it.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to win the pot. I'd like to have some action.
We get cocktails, just water.
Not water as well.
Yeah.
You need some more water.
I wish I had a little better hand or a little worse of a hand.
That queen jack will get you.
How many people?
I'd like the water in the dark.
Queen Jack would have got played.
10-8, 10-9,
One dark.
10-7, offsuit.
King 10. King 10.
Oh, yeah, I think that's kind of like queen jack.
You can only use that move once.
It's harder to make some straights, though.
When it really counted.
I'll drink if everyone drinks.
I'm gonna have a beer, you know?
I
Why
played
not?
a poker game with Doyle where we were all drinking.
Yeah, I
one.
need a beer.
I'll have one with you.
When was that?
So, it's probably like 2 years ago.
You
I'll
want
do
one,
a
Vanessa?
shot, too, yeah.
And we were drinking?
Yeah. We were playing with all these
Raise to
Asian businessmen.
3,000.
If you guys want to drink, I'll drink too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an excellent drunk commentator.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just kidding, kids. Don't drink and commentate. In the meantime, in this hand, Chan has raised to 3,000 and been called by 3 players. Seltz with the best of it with pocket tens. Seltz still with the best of it.
Tank of money.
Obviously.
Check to Johnny, who continuation bets.
I'm full.
Folded back around to Vanessa. Once again, thinking about either calling or raising. She calls.
Check.
There's a scare card, ace on the turn. Checks through. And Johnny makes a straight.
Check. 15,000.
He makes a value bet. Vanessa's thinking, Johnny checked the turn. If he doesn't have an ace, what's he betting with? Did he flop a set? Did he make a straight? Can she get away from her hand? Nope.
Yeah.
Here's seat 6.
It's a seat, buddy. It's not me. 5 ball in the corner. That was nice.
5 ball, corn 5.
Welcome back to the beautiful Bellagio. And it's time for this week's PokerStars.net High Stakes Legends.
Betty Carey was tearing up the green felt back in the days when women were second-class citizens in poker. In the late 70s and early 80s, Carey was one of the most feared cash game players in Vegas. Amarillo Slim, who said Betty is the best woman poker player I've ever seen, beat her heads up for $100,000. But when he challenged her again for double the stakes, Betty took all 200 grand in 8 minutes.
So, that was the first woman to give Doyle headaches. Vanessa Selbst is the latest.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much true. Pretty much true, but not 100% true. Only when you need it. Bluff.
Andrew Roble looks to his left and raises to 3,000. David says, I'm game.
Is your hand better than 4 high this time?
I take the 5th.
Actually, he took the 6.
Check.
Well, now Roble's hoping that Viffer has bigger cards. Slow play is not in Roble's vocabulary. And he gets no action.
Is your hand better than 8 high?
I had it. Flop the nuts. Flop the nuts. No action.
Actually, that was a pretty good flop for Viffer. It didn't cost him any money. Doyle puts in his big blind.
I mean, we could have somebody look at your cards and tell you what they were and, like, fold for you. It'd be the same thing.
I think I played more hands than you in the last hour.
Well, Viffer and company trying to get our big winner to loosen up a little.
If that's true, I bet you had better hands than him.
Why are they always picking on me, Barry?
You're ahead. It's okay to pick on the guy who's ahead.
You know?
Guess that's why they're not picking on you, Barry.
But I wouldn't.
One time.
In the meantime, Klein is picking on Vanessa with a big re-raise.
God, it felt good to pull that hard on turn on him. I'll tell you.
And Vanessa calls.
Time I said, oh, time to get there.
And she flops the best hand.
Why do you only run it one time?
Because I thought I was going to win.
Continuation bet by Klein. A do you really have it call by Vanessa.
Yeah, this was a little bigger.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Worked out better for me.
Vanessa checks again.
Barry, but if you wouldn't have hit it, we wouldn't have to
You
listen
think the
to
game
him
would have
anymore.
been quiet on this side?
Oh, it would have been real quiet today.
And Klein is sticking to his story. And Vanessa thinks it's a true story.
Because you overall, you've been pretty unlucky on the show.
What am I doing?
Like, I've never won.
Throwing the best hand away.
I've never won a high stakes, I don't think.
I probably should have just folded pre-flop.
High stakes poker, come on in.
Some poor kid I won't donate money to because of that later on. Gosh, I should.
Is it just me, or since Phil Ruffins left the table, this game slowed down a bit?
So funny, everybody's talking about aces. I look down, nah.
Brunson raises with Brunson.
I promise you, I'll never be.
All right, there it is. There for the camera, boys.
And shows
That's my
Brunson.
claim to fame.
$170,000 loser and playing a 10 deuce.
Give the pot to Brunson.
Life is good.
Johnny's thinking, Ruffin told me this was an action game. What the hell happened?
Well, if you can't have a good time on a night like this, you got nobody to blame but yourself, right?
That is true.
Cool.
Chan limps in.
Thank you. That's what my dad always said.
And Viffer says, here's your action.
My poppy told me if the money lasts, the luck will come.
Vanessa accepts the invitation.
Maybe I'll make $6 or $7 on the golf course tomorrow.
And Robo looks to his left, of course. One maxim in poker, you never want to look to your left and see Johnny Chan. Well, Robo must have sensed weakness. He raises to 14,000. He gets rid of his dangerous neighbor.
3,000 to fill in.
And the guy across the street.
11 more. Call.
Remains a loyal customer. Do I want to get mixed up with these boys, Vanessa's thinking? They're good action. And they got plenty of money. There's the axis of evil. Vanessa thinks better of it.
Pro Wars.
Heads up to the flop.
I love Pro Wars, bro. You know? The young versus the old.
It's yummy. It's just yummy.
So much
to watch.
talent.
It's
So much
it's just
beauty.
So good to watch.
Well, the flop is not going to create any action unless these players use their imaginations.
The best of the best.
The best of the best.
Best of the best.
Checks.
Check, check. And that card's the worst of the worst for Robo.
Can you hear his heartbeat?
Nothing imaginative so far.
Start check. I have a 10.
10's the nuts.
There's always a 9.
You over for the value bet there, you know? 50,000. Robo's would have called with the ace high.
Phil, without even thinking about it.
You know?
He was afraid of the...
Without even thinking about it.
Can't believe he was so nice doing that hand.
Pete and Robo want nothing to do with each other.
Live straddle it is.
I should have charged him 7,000.
40 on the
No,
road.
7.
At least
Did you get your beer, Vanessa?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Cheers.
It's drinking time.
Cheers.
boy, that looks good.
And this is what a nightmare looks like. Viffer has aces. Who's going to give him credit for that?
Call. Option.
This was not what Viffer was hoping for when he limped under the gun. He picked up only stragglers. Nobody raised.
Last card for the flop. First bag.
And one of the stragglers flops a set. Trouble for Viffer. Checked around the table, though. Antonio's got a double gutter. Viffer checks again. He doesn't want anything to do with this hand anymore. 4 5s for Andrew Roble. A third check would be too much for Pete. He puts in a value bet. He will soon find out the value of his hand. Here I am. Raised to 17,000.
17,000 total.
Pete can only beat a stone-cold bluff.
What? Laughing at? I know. I mean, yeah. Makes it a little funnier, right?
Bullets? Bullets?
Yep.
Aces?
Something like that.
Wow. I'm glad I didn't get silly with the button there.
This hand could have been a lot bigger.
A lot of trappers in this game.
If Roble hadn't put slow play back into his vocabulary.
Sometimes the trapper get trapped too.
You're watching High Stakes Poker. Last hand of this session, we have 4 players in the green, 4 players in the red. So Vanessa Selfs will remain in red, and Barry Greenstein too.
Raise 2,500 total.
Roble folds the king 6. He'll end his session 130,000 up.
Call.
Bill Klein got tortured pretty badly.
Call.
And let's find out how Pete, Brunson, and Antonio end up.
3 players for the flop.
Doyle likes the flop,
Checks.
but he checks.
Check. Check around.
And Antonio likes the turn.
Check.
And he bets.
5,600. 5,600.
And Viffer ends up $280,000 winner. Doyle's not done yet. He raises it to $22,600.
Raises 17,000 more.
That's not what Doyle wanted to see. Antonio calls. That's an interesting card. 4 cards straight on board, and the flush is possible. $40,000 bet. Kind of an impossible call for Antonio.
Mr. Brunson, you flopped the Nutter Butters, huh?
Well, maybe not.
Why would you?
It appears he's sensing something. His body language looks like he's going to call. And what a good call that would be.
All right.
Well, he tricked me.
One of the four corners now.
Nice hand.
Yeah. Or you won't have to wait for the TV. You had me.
Had you?
And Doyle tells the table, I may be 77, but I still here. Follow that, Kara.
From hand one, this lineup delivered action, and it looked like the high-stakes veterans would make it tough for the newcomers to win a pot. That quickly changed. Billionaire Phil Ruffin was a force, winning over $300,000. For the vets, Antonio Esfandiari won the biggest pot of his 32-year-old life, nearly $600,000. Next time, the felt belongs to a new lineup.
And that lineup includes a world champ,
Too humble. He can do it. He can win $9 million. He can win 80,000.
world-class personalities.
Silent Mike. Hey, we don't like to hear whiners, Mike. Is there a joker in the deck?
And despite all of the chatter,
If you pay $5,000, you can see this hand. Why would you say that?
It was him I was going after, not you.
Come on, I've seen you on TV. Stop the BS.
there's still plenty of room for action.
I didn't know if you were steamed or...
I think this game is too big.